Off my keyboard. Uber? Hello.
Yeah, give me one sec. Let me turn this off. What's up, dude?
Yeah, no, what I was saying, or I don't know who you were either replying to me or Fletcher, so I thought I'd just bob in and say, yeah, we're never going to see lateral curvature at ground level.
Well, but what I'm saying is this image right here on my screen,
mm-hmm.
Does that look flat to you? Because it looks curved to me.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell. It could be lens distortion. It could be the cockpit. It could be the cockpit mirror. You know, the glass on the cockpit. It does look slightly curved, but that wouldn't in no way indicate the shape of the Earth at this, you know, the altitude that we're at here. We're literally 14 foot above the tarmac. So
well, no, I'm just saying that if it looks curved from the ground, but you're supposed to be 25,000 feet for it to be curved, right?
Right, so there's two ways to determine curve. One is away from us, and the other is laterally, left to right. In order for the human eye to see curvature and discern curvature, you would probably have to be about 23,000 meters above to be able to detect 3 degrees of curvature, which is what the average human can perceive at 90-degree field of view.
Well, but right here, I'm detecting a degree of curvature right here, though, man.
Yeah, I would say that's false.
Well, but I'm saying that when you look out the window of the plane, how can you say that the curvature you're seeing at 25,000 feet? Because now you've expanded your view. You're seeing even more, and so it's got like more chance of it to like curve on the edges, you know, because if I'm saying that like you already said, it could be window distortion or lens distortion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
you know, there's a very easy way to actually rule this out if you want to do an experiment yourself.
Okay, I'm down.
Hold something flat in front of the lens that you know is you know, a single flat surface. So it could be like a metal ruler side, you know, flat side towards you, and that and align it with the horizon that the camera's seeing, because that way, if there is anything to do with the lens, you'd actually see it. But we can detect the easiest way to detect curvature is away from us, rather than you know, rather than going up 25.
You know what? That's exactly what we've been working on for observations. We're actually teaming up with a a quantum physicist. My bad, not an astrophysicist, a quantum physicist.
Really?
And one of his colleagues, so another physicist, and I'm trying to get a third one in on this from UCLA to do an observation test. And we're kind of in the works of, I guess you could say, negotiating what we're doing, dude. Because
wait a minute, sorry, Uber. I know your name is Uber Flat Earth.
My name is Josh, dude. If you want to call me Josh.
Oh no. It's yeah, I call you Josh. But do you, I don't know I don't know. Are you a flat earther or are you a glober?
I don't even consider myself like a flat earther. That's just weird to give myself a title like that.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Like, I mean, when I believed that the sun was 93 million miles away,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't walk around calling myself a glober.
Yeah. And
You
you
know what
don't
I
believe
mean? Like,
you don't believe the sun is 93 million miles away now.
oh no, not anymore.
Oh wow. How come? What changed your mind?
Well, because I don't think that I don't think that we orbit it. Okay, like I don't think it's as large as they say. Uh, the the whole idea of the the fact that the size is pretty much the same as the moon never
Hmm.
blew me away. Like, I mean, it actually, believe it or not, it did blow me away in a different way, because I thought to myself, like, what are the chances? That's so fucking random, you know?
Yeah,
Like
the
what
thing
are the
is, it's
chances that
yeah,
it's just that distance and that size, you know? And like, I was completely amazed, dude. Like, I used to use that as an argument for intelligent design.
yeah. I mean, it's not exactly, and it changes. So even though it's an incredible coincidence, and it really is, it's not a constant. So the angular size versus the relational size of the sun change. They
Well,
appear
you
different
see,
sizes through the year in relation to each other.
that's why I really don't like personally, I don't uh really like to deal with celestial bodies so much, you know?
Mhm.
Uh because that's like trying to look at the ceiling to tell you what the shape of the floor is, you know?
I've heard that expression, and being a geometric artist, I absolutely do not agree with that whatsoever. Because, well, the problem is, if you take that attitude, you're living in an undiscovered country now that doesn't have any shipping lanes and would never have had shipping lanes, because in order for us to travel across there and create commerce and shipping lanes in whenever it was the early 1400s, we needed to look to the stars to be able to guide ourselves to the ports, and it was that simple. So without that, we just limit ourselves so much, and you know we go back. We go back in time basically. Hello, Pete.
Wait, was that
Hey,
me?
hey, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Thanks for Uber.
Hey Pete, what's up, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Please continue. I'll just go on mute for a few minutes.
Yeah, continue, Stingray. Go
Yeah.
for it, man.
So in in looking at something like the moon, for instance, have you never just wondered how far away it is, and can we actually test that range? And can we test its angle? And can we figure out, because a lot of that, with basic kind of trigonometry, you can figure out, even on a flat surface, you can figure out where someone is in relation to you, by their observation at the same moment in time as yours, looking at the same object. And that's a fascinating exercise to be able to figure out the shape and distance of things that I'm stood on, is to compare my results with other people's, in different locations, obviously.
Yeah.
It's not out of the question that you're in the States and I'm in the United Kingdom, and we look at the same moon, and I see it at a completely different angle and elevation, and you do, and we can compare our
Oh, dude,
results, and
I
figure that
agree
out.
with that. I agree with
Mm,
that, even on a flat Earth, because I think that it's kind of equivalent to like, okay, so if I put some, and then again, I'm going to use like a warehouse, like a building, okay? Like if I put a picture on the ceiling, right?
mhm,
If if you're standing on one side of the room and I'm on another, and somebody else is in another corner of the room, right? And we were all told to take a picture of what we saw, would we not take a picture of the same thing at different angles?
mm. And due to and with that fact, if we measured the angles that we were taking those photos as well, along with the direction, we'd be able to figure out where each of us are and how big that room is. If we went,
Well,
so it's incredibly important to me that.
That's why I like being on these platforms now, because I've met people like everywhere, you know, like name a country now, and like there's somebody that I can get a hold of, whether I know them already or somebody knows somebody there, you know, like that is able to be reached. Where, like, okay, so like the other day there was a dude that was on, and he lives in Egypt, right? Which is like 10 hours away from me. Okay.
I think where are you?
I'm in California.
Oh Jesus, that's more than 10 hours. that's more like what? If you could get a direct flight to there in 10 hours, I would be amazed.
No. I'm not talking about a flight. I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean, sorry, time difference. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about traveling. Yeah, 10 hours.
No, dude.
I'm going to say, Jesus Christ, what aircraft are you flying on? That is amazing. I was there thinking, I've had to fly from the UK to Hong Kong to Manila, and that's taken me 18 hours sometime. How can you do that distance in just 10 hours? Damn it.
Oh, dude. My cousin's Elon Musk, and I ride in a rocket, bro. Okay, like. Well, hey, actually, check this out. I've talked to Elon Musk's one of his family drivers.
Really?
Because I put out a video of SpaceX, of me talking to a SpaceX employee, right? Who is a high school friend of one of my brothers, and it was an interesting conversation, and it got a ton of views, dude. Like, it got like my copy got like 40,000 views before my stepmom actually asked me to take it down, because she was worried about if anything happened at his work. You know what I mean? Like, she just got really paranoid about it, and I was like, okay, no problem. So I pulled it down for her sake, you know.
Uber, what do you think of my idea that Seth MacFarlane has always played the role of Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is just another character, front man or face?
No,
wait a minute. I love Seth MacFarlane. I think he's absolutely awesome.
I can't go with that one, dude.
Have you looked into it anywhat, or is it just that you're opposed to the thought itself?
I've dabbled in it, because
you dabbled in it.
I can't believe that Elon Musk has got a singing voice like Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah,
that just blocks it for me right there.
Seth MacFarlane is an actor, but Seth MacFarlane is a voice actor. You don't even know he's real. If his real, what you would call his natural voice, is his natural voice. So come on, and it is possible. But I've done comparisons, and I'll encourage you there, Uber, for yourself. Go type into YouTube a young Seth MacFarlane and a young Elon Musk, and see what you think. But there's a little bit more evidence than that. I wouldn't come down 100% on that like I do with Will Smith and Barack Obama, but yeah, pretty close.
Have you seen the pictures of Elon Musk when he was like before SpaceX and before he got like hair transplants and shit?
Right. Well, this is what I'm saying. It's all a disguise. So I haven't seen those particularly now.
No, dude, that was like him, dude. Like, he got fucking lucky with PayPal, man. That's all that happened. He got lucky with PayPal, made a shit ton of money. Okay. Like, him and his brothers were into like code and like websites and like building like internet businesses and stuff like that, dude. They're still into stuff like that.
We know
Like,
how the story goes, man. But come on, we got to look beyond the story at this stage. These are all front setup, and it's no coincidence that Tesla, the name Tesla, has become so widely discussed, especially amongst conspiracy folks these days. And of course, he's associated with the Tesla car, Tesla in space. So maybe there's something else going on that if we get sucked in by this, these childish, transparent surface stories like SpaceX, you know.
Pete, just
Well,
a really quick
then, you
question.
know, then hang on, then we sort of miss the maybe the greater significance, the hidden truth behind whatever is going on. The possibility.
Pete, do you have any evidence for any of your claims whatsoever, other than just kind of these wild theories?
I do, yeah, I do. Unlike you, when you're spinning ball, with absolutely no evidence. Absolutely no evidence for any movement of the Earth beneath us as a whole whatsoever. And if the Earth doesn't move, which has been proved not to move,
sky,
then everything that
Coriolis,
you're talking about
hey,
is
gravity.
nonsense.
Hey, Stingray, just to let you know,
Jesus.
there are some cheap shots here sometimes. Okay.
I'm well used to dealing with Dean here, so I know his sort of story. But yes, I do have evidence regarding the Obama-Osama comparison. I spent about 45 minutes to an hour going over all the evidence I have, and the same thing with Seth MacFarlane. Elon Musk wears facial prosthetics, really advanced facial prosthetics. So you have
All right,
one man.
stop right there. Stop right there. So
No,
what's your
I won't
evidence
stop
for
right
that?
there. You have one man, and at least why can't you entertain the possibility that there's one man being made up, a mask put on to represent another man, a different person? No.
Okay, so really advanced facial prosthetics that look like the real thing. Where's your evidence for that?
So who are you? Why would I need to answer anything to you, man? You're not honest. I know that. So go and look yourself. You were in the CGI, you're in the computer industry where you can make anything look real, right? So you're telling me that these things are impossibilities, are sort of fantasy land talk. Come off of it,
Is
man.
that Chris Matt that just showed up?
Yeah, this is Chris Matt. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hey, Chris. Anyway,
Not
that's
much.
just a thought. They're just thoughts of mine. So I can back them up, and I have reasonable suspicion for these claims, if you want to call them claims. But yeah, like everything else, you have to hear and investigate yourself before you can take it seriously.
Can I ask Dean a question?
No. Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I'm only going to be here for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I've watched some of the stuff you guys have talked about on Jose's show, and I know that you work with a lot of different like 3D software programs, and I was just wondering, do you know of any program, any rendering software that accurately like represents like shapes and distances here on Earth?
Well, no, any 3D program will do that because they're all based off, just explicit geometry. So there is not the only thing I can actually simulate anything that we have on Earth quite accurately to a degree that is incredibly accurate and unfalsifiable, except for one thing. I cannot model, or I cannot render and create a procedural shader for true refraction. So 3D programs don't I can make a milk substance. I can make a soap substance. I can make water and glass. I know that the index of refraction of glass is 1.5. The computer knows how to interpret that. It knows the absorption coefficients and everything like that. But I cannot say, hey, this pocket of air has got variable density all the way through it, and which cause the light to bend. I can do that in real life, but I can't do it on I can't simulate it very easily on a computer. Maybe I've been doing it a while, and I've stopped. I'm not in the 3D industry anymore. I stopped doing that about 5 or 6 years ago, but I was in it for 18 years. So.
Well,
You're
yeah,
in the
that's
flat
a
Earth
really long
debunking
time.
industry now, right?
Sorry?
You're in the flat Earth debunking industry.
It's hard to believe, Pete, but I'm actually working as we speak, but not debunking flat Earth. I'm writing a 3D program.
So just to stop you briefly, if a lot in terms of our perception of reality depends on this air density changes, if you're saying that you can't take it into account, surely then your models aren't representing reality.
Well,
reflecting reality.
Rumpus is doing calculations, and I'm wanting to get data sets out of that so that I can represent it in a renderer. But as it is currently, there is no atmospheric refraction layer shader, volume shader that I can use.
Right.
Well, that's fine. That's okay, because my question was more so about distance rather than atmospheric effects.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
everything works exactly as you would expect it.
Everything works. So, for example, are you able to, like, if I want to, if I want to see what like a plane of a certain size would look like in the sky, for example, can that be represented in the same way as it would appear in like reality?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, when you say reality, you have to. So first of all, you have to define your viewing medium. Is it the human eye or is it a camera? Now,
the human eye.
So the human eye, we've got a problem with the human eye.
It's fucked. No good.
No, the human eye, you can perceive
Can't trust the
motion. Well, no, you can't. Honestly, no, Pete, I'll agree with you. You cannot. So the human eye, I can make you colorblind in the next 5 minutes if I wanted to. I can also make you lose
you in the bollocks as well.
How could you do that? Sorry to interject. How could you do that? Sorry to interject. My name's Jim.
To kick you in the bollocks.
Yeah, right.
No, okay. Not really.
Could you do that?
I can.
Go ahead,
well,
Dean.
Right. So you could stare at a single color, red, and if it's uniformly lit and you stare at it for something like 5 minutes, I can show you. I can quickly put in front of your eyes a multitude of different colors on a sheet, and you will just see grayscale. Even though, after about 2 minutes, after getting away from that color red, you'll look at that sheet and there will be loads of colors on it. And it's this. There are hundreds of things that we are terrible at.
But hang on, that's not a good example of you not being able to trust your eyes. Come on, you're introducing something.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll share.
Really.
Wait a minute. I'll share. No, I'll share my screen. I'll share my screen. Wait a minute. Look at this. Look at this. Right. Okay. Share. So this is an example that I use. So can you see A and B here on my screen?
Yeah.
Right. If I said to you they are exactly the same shade, what would you say to me?
I would say they're not.
Everybody would, but that's how bad we are at just shade recognition. Now, all I'm going to do is I'll copy this one, and I'll copy it, and I'll paste it, and I'll move it, and then I'll paste another one and move it, and you can see that they are in fact the same shade. But you didn't think so. Nobody would.
Okay, but can I ask a question now? Now, with this, where does this relate to what I see 100 miles away, 60 miles away? I'm seeing a whole bloody mountain.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to ask.
Where does that? Because that's my eyesight. I see the buildings. I see it clearly. Okay,
they're brown,
and you cannot see that on a spherical ball.
Oh no,
I guess what Dean's trying to say is that, like, illusions, our eyes are easily like diluted, so like we can't really trust like a lot of what we see.
Exactly. But
what I'm actually saying though is this: when you see an object or a mountain or a lighthouse or the city of Chicago at 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour at 90 miles of distance, that is what you see. You are indeed seeing what you see. Your eyes are not deceiving you. It proves flat Earth. It doesn't prove refraction or whatever nonsense you want to go into. It proves what you see. It proves the Earth is flat. And please remember this when you're thinking. We have no photographs or videos or satellite images of this Earth, supposed spherical Earth. Until you have those evidences, whatever you're doing here, splitting the atom, is a waste of time.
That's why
Okay?
he has to tell
A
you your
waste
eyes
of
are shit and
time.
you can't trust
Oh,
him. That's why he has to
it's
start
about
off by saying that.
it's about to get real in here. But before that happens,
Real then, get real.
let me just wrap up this question real quick. So Dean, in this same software that we're talking about here, if we're talking about viewing objects in the same way that we do on Earth using our eyes, do you think if we were to place ourselves on Earth in this program that you're using, and were to place an object in the sky which is the same size as the moon and is the same distance, which is 238,000 miles away, are we going to be able to see that object in that program?
Yeah.
We are, or is it just going to vanish? Is it going to be too far away for us to see?
No, it's fine. Wait a minute, I'll tell you what. I shall really quickly just because I think I've got a scene that is Earth size. Wait a minute, give me a sec.
Ian, will you not? Okay, anyway, look, there's no such distances as 258,000 miles or 93 million miles. So we're trying to deal with reality, and Dean will always bring us back to not being able to trust our senses. So anything we see that we should be able to see, it's our eyes that are shit. Trust my models.
I'm saying
give him a chance to present an example, though. All right.
If you take a photo you can evaluate. You know, if you looked at those two different shades that I showed you, you'd be wrong. But if you take a photo, you can test the color and see that they're both the same. So a photo from a camera is a lot better than you recalling it firsthand. Sometimes it depends on the context, but sometimes that's all I'd say.
Okay, right. So the city of Chicago, we can see that over 60 miles, roughly, over 50 miles. Okay, 56 miles apparently, 56. Well, what are we saying there then? My eyes. Not correct. I'm not.
Pluck them out. They're no good.
Is not what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at, and neither have I seen it. So
I'm saying we're looking at the skyline of Chicago from over 60 miles away. What does that prove?
That you can see the city of Chicago over 60 miles away.
Also proves that there's no curvature between the distance. No curvature.
Because we shouldn't be able to see it.
Right, there's no curvature there.
Well, that's an assumption. You'd have to prove
it's
that.
It's not an assumption. It's been
it proves that we could see Chicago.
Jin, hold on.
Sir.
Jin,
it's not an assumption.
Jin,
okay.
Hold on.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So because of all this bullshit that everyone likes to try to say, right, with like the refraction and stuff, I've been trying to figure out a way to, okay, so over the last, year and a half, 2 years, that's what I've been doing. Just listening to other people's observations, listening to the arguments against those, and basically just trying to strengthen a test, you know? So I have an idea of the next, and this is what I was talking to you about before, Stingray, about talking to the quantum physicist and his buddy, and I'm trying to get the other one in.
Yeah.
All right. They didn't like the mirror flash that we did from 13 miles, from 10 miles, and from 17 miles, okay? They didn't like that. And so their excuse for that was actually atmospheric ducting, okay?
That's what I mean.
Which is why they didn't want to use that. So they wanted to use lasers. Like, did you guys all see the Discovery Channel documentary that they used the laser, they used a helicopter and like a boat?
Yeah, I saw that one.
It was really edited though. Like, I don't think a lot of those experiments they did were. Trust me. I know. So he wants to recreate something kind of like that, and I'm like, okay, dude, no problem. Like, but instead, why don't we use? And I got the idea because the conversation of pointing lasers at the moon and being able to tell how far away it is.
Yeah.
I got the idea of the retroreflectors. Because, I mean, hell, if they can do that from 230,000 miles, I should do it from a pretty good distance here on Earth, right?
Great idea.
So, I want to build a little retroreflector Because all it is a couple mirrors cut and put together in like a semi-pyramid shape, you know. And I want to set it off the ground, like a foot off the ground. Maybe right at the water, right? I mean, hell, I can even put it in the water and just have the retroreflector a foot off the ground, you know, like to where it's legitimately a foot off the water. Okay. And that's the retroreflector. And then let's say 10 miles away, have a laser pointing at the retroreflector about 2 feet off the ground. And have it hitting the retroreflector and showing me that bright ass flash of the retroreflector.
Is the retroreflector going to be on the same elevation as the laser?
I am going to try to get it as close to it as possible. Yes.
You won't be able to retain the laser beam. You won't be able to pinpoint the target that easily. It'll be almost an impossibility. But what you're doing is
there is a way to do it. Okay, to where we can pinpoint it, because at 10 miles, at 9.3 miles away or whatever, right?
Yeah.
With just a high-powered flashlight, we have it recorded with a P900 across the lake, and then I recorded how high off the ground the flashlight was on my end, and they were recording across the lake, and they could see the flashlight when the flashlight was literally almost in the water.
There you go. See?
So I mean, we can if we put the flashlight next to the retroreflector, okay, then all we have to do is basically aim at that light and play around right there, and I will hit the retroreflector, dude.
Do these lasers only work at nighttime? Because you know that there's a higher rate of refraction at night as well.
Well, I mean, if they're working at nighttime, that's going to be brilliant, I would imagine. If you can
it is, but there are also other issues that can arise because of that. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, okay. I take it. Are you a man who believes the Earth is a spherical ball? Then, yeah.
Who,
You're
me?
living on a. Yeah.
I don't know what we're living on.
Oh, you don't know what you're living on.
What do you think? Well, a lot of people are saying that, no, don't call me this or don't call me that. Well, what do you think? What's your best guess at this point? That's what we mean by when we say flat earther. It's a sort of a general sense, but you don't need to be down in it. We have a general idea of what we mean.
I can tell it seems like Chris is like just a skeptic of everything.
Yeah, but come on.
I mean,
what's your idea, though?
My idea of what's really going on? I just feel as though they may be more that's not being shown to us. I can't prove any of that. So, I mean, going further into that is just speculation, but I just feel as though there's just more to it, more land perhaps that's just not being shown to us.
Okay, I mean, that might work very well and done. I'm talking about the physical shape of this lovely flat plane we live on. What is your opinion? What is your
I don't think it's flat, but it's not a globe either.
Okay, so if it's not flat, and it's not a globe, I mean, come on. Like, hang on a second. When you fly in an aircraft, passenger jet airliner, you do not experience curvature whatsoever. And
no, you don't.
The plane to prove that, yet alone your own experience physically. We don't go around the ball to go to Australia upside down. We don't do that. And the plane remains dead. I've done the measurements myself before D Marble and his spirit level. I did it before him with my children, and the plane was level. We knew it was level anyway, and it was level all the way to Hawaii. There was no curvature to be found, and all the way you could see nothing but straight horizon. 2 weeks at sea in a ship, nothing but straight horizon for 360 degrees. Liquid remains level at rest. I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, I'm not disagreeing.
Can you have a straight horizon at 360
with a lot of what
degrees,
you guys? I'm not disagreeing with a lot of what you guys are saying. It's just that when you make an affirmative statement like that, like when you say it's flat, you're gonna have to prove that. And we don't live on a basketball court. Like we have different elevations, we have valleys, mountains, and all.
Yeah, well, of course we do. Of
Yeah.
You
course.
don't have to prove
When
what
you-
your thoughts are either, bud. You can just state them. You don't have to prove anything here. I mean, you know.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I
we
would
do.
say. We live on
Yeah,
a
you
flat
can see-
Earth, but we can't go beyond certain bounds, right? Because we just don't know. But we know that any search for movement or curvature has turned up empty.
Well,
So,
doesn't it bother you though that you can't prove what you're saying?
No, it
Like
doesn't bother
that
me.
should
But I
bother
know
you.
hang on
Not
a
at
second, you see. You
That should
say
bother
I
you.
can't. Hang on a second.
Not at all, bud.
You say I can't prove. I can prove it, but you, the people who are believing in the heliocentric model decide not to take it as evidence. Good. You want to follow the pseudoscience, not you particular, but you know what I'm saying. They want to follow pseudoscience. Fine. I can prove it, and I'm satisfied with that proof.
Well, it depends on the
board.
level. It depends on the level of evidence that you're comfortable accepting.
Well,
Like
nature never lies.
not
I
everyone's
will-
going to
listen
accept
up.
the same.
I will always take nature's laws over man's laws any day of the week. Nature doesn't lie, and that's a fact. So it doesn't matter what man wants to bring me, I would totally throw that in a bin. I will trust my eyes and what I see and what nature tells me first and foremost. I've never gone wrong. Follow man, on the other hand, and it's costing us $57 million a day at the moment that they're giving to NASA to tell us lies. There we are. That's where we are today.
So
Yeah.
flat Earth is just a general term as well, as we sort of all understand it. It just means that the Earth is not moving and that it's flat and stationary.
Exactly, right.
So whatever's beyond that is a different matter. And that's where I think we should be going as well, because every test you do, Chris, you're just going to find the same results, right? That we have a flat and a stationary plane. So what really is the nature of our home? That's the question that moves all of us, right?
I can't wait till your kids get to travel to space on just exploratory flights.
It'll never happen.
That's never going to happen.
It will happen. It will happen in my lifetime.
Oh, okay.
What a stupid thing to say, right?
It's never happening ever.
That's never.
It's been 60 years. 60 years.
I love the fact.
I can't wait for your kids to go to space and prove you smart, Alex Brown.
No, you just disregard the entire space agencies across the globe and all the evidence. It's amazing.
Hey, can I say something here?
Hang on, guys.
Yeah, let GMCDXX say something.
Is it
Sorry,
Stingray?
Go ahead.
Stingray, I just have a question for you. What do you think happened on 9/11? Do you think it's what the government told us?
I'm not in your country, and I don't know. I looked into it when it first happened. I looked into it when it first happened.
He's the graphics expert as well.
It's pretty obvious what you're about, bro.
No, wait a minute. Well, is it? Have you made conclusions based on me not having a
There's
chance
a
to
couple
answer
litmus tests to see if someone's real. One of them is what happened on 9/11. Another one is NASA real? Another one is, are there chemtrails?
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
legal name fraud is another one.
So, Jesus Christ.
So where are you at?
And flat Earth is another one.
Right.
Failed
So
all of them.
9/11, I'm skeptical about. There's something a little bit weird there. I'm not with Pete in saying it didn't happen at all. I think it did happen.
Planes. Did you analyze the footage?
Is your government behind it? I wouldn't put it past them.
What's their plane crashes, Dean?
Chemtrails. Wait a minute. Chemtrails. I don't think chemtrails are true because it's just condensation trails.
So what country are you in?
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Britain.
So do they put fluoride in your water?
Oh shit.
No. No, they don't. Not everywhere.
So the government,
I'm actually
throw everything.
The government poisons our water, poisons our air, but they tell us the truth about space, right?
That's about the legal name fraud. He knows nothing about it. I know nothing, senor.
Yeah, I know everything about your version of legal name fraud. So
my version, man, it's the truth of it.
I'm sure you think it is.
Yeah, well, let us know what your version of events is then, the way we can see if we can trust you, right?
Well, I'm trying to answer questions.
So chemtrails aren't real. NASA are genuine. flat Earth is ridiculous.
Wait a minute. I never said NASA are genuine.
Oh, okay.
I said I trust that the overwhelming evidence of the 50 or 60 space agencies around all the countries.
Did we go to the moon? Did China go to the moon? Did Israel just crash into the moon?
We live in a one world
satellite.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Let me just do one thing at a time.
Dean is only delighted to be taking away our energies like this.
You're scattergunning.
Sorry.
So yeah, when I watch the SpaceX launches and the continuous shots of the Astrosat launches via SpaceX, witnessed by loads of people, even people in light aircraft were recording it. The continuous footage all the way up into orbit with the main booster separations, all the way back down, and these were continuous shots as well.
Where is the continuous film? Where's the continuous film?
The Astra, SpaceX.
Where is it? I'll get it if you want. Wait a minute, give me a sec.
There's no continuous film going past the Kármán line ever. There's no continuous film to the ISS ever.
Give me a second. Oh well, this went to ISS. This was launching Astrosat, I think.
You said you could fake it, Dean. You said you had the abilities to fake it.
No,
the space agencies aren't autonomous, by the way.
I said I could fake the Himawari. I know I could. I don't think there's a doubt.
Himawari is not even in space. It's not even there. We have no proof that damn thing is in. And I'm in Japan, by the way. It's not there. It's not even in space. Let me ask you a question. Vacuum. What's going to happen to an astronaut supposedly in a vacuum of space? Nothing. Everything expands, man. So tell me how they can survive. Nature. If you've seen experiments on the YouTube, they show you what happens in a vacuum. No human being can survive there. Nothing can work in the way of thruster jets and whatever. So tell me.
So you're saying thruster jets don't work in a vacuum?
Thruster jets do not work in a vacuum unless you're mixing hypercolic fuel, they call it. If it needs air, which you need to burn, how can it work?
By oxidization of the solid rocket fuel. I'm not a scientist at any point, but I kind of know that that's what they do. I'd have to look into it, but I'm pretty sure that is it. That's why there is solid fuel
there. Every experiment I've seen to date, nothing oxidized. The oxygen's removed. So how can anything burn? There's nothing to burn.
Well, you don't need. It's expansion that causes propulsion, and it's vectored expansion that does it in a rocket system. I know this, even though I'm not a satellite engineer. I'm not a scientist.
And anyway, you go to the vacuum of space, your body will expand immediately. Start to expand. How do you control that? The space suits can't do it.
So you think space is the vacuum?
They tell us
we are told. We are told.
Well, I thought it was near vacuum. In other words, it's not sucking. It's just not zero. It's above zero. That's not a vacuum. That's less pressure.
What's creating the positive pressure, Dean?
Even though it's not zero, the body will expand. You will die.
Here's another thing about the spacesuits. They say that space is 250 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 250 degrees Fahrenheit. How is the spacesuit cooling and heating them when in your house you have a huge air conditioning unit and it can only bring down the temperature 20 degrees, but they can do it 250 degrees, right?
Minus. Ooh,
and that's when your back is facing the sun. On the moon, for instance, your back is facing the sun and your front is facing away. So you have this 500 degree temperature difference from your back, from your arse to your cock.
Come on,
one is freezing and the other is fucking roasted.
And they tell us it's insulation. It's just insulation.
It's all nonsense.
But there is nothing.
And you know that retroreflective mirror you were saying, Uber, they put on the moon. This is a clue for us. We know they can't land on the moon. So what might they be telling us by putting this retroreflective mirror? Well, maybe that the moon itself is an image reflected against a mirror sky, possibly.
There's nothing, man. Look, there's nothing man-made on the moon. There are no satellites going around the moon. There is no Himawari.
There is on balloons.
In space. It's
on
all
balloons.
lies.
Wait a minute. So your general rhetoric is that there are no satellites and they're on balloons, right?
Well, yeah, Project Loon is
that's
proven.
correct.
Yeah.
No, that's a project, and I was actually
Why would they send up rockets when balloons are cheaper?
Because you can't control a balloon.
Rockets
and
don't go
they can't have a motor on the balloon.
And a geostationary satellite or orbital satellite, you need to be able to predict.
Why did a satellite on a balloon crash in Australia?
And there's one in Brazil as well. One person in Brazil.
Wait a minute, whoa. Why did this happen? I'm saying there are satellites up there. There are orbital satellites that you call the GPS network. We also have view of the GPS network in the UK. We also have view of something called GLONASS, which is another positioning.
And your proof is what? Videos? Pictures?
No, my proof is quite simple. You can get a radio inhibitor that's direction based, and you can get Doppler readings from the most basic of radio equipment, pointing it on a 400 megahertz spectrum up at the damn sky and track these things.
Excuse me, have you seen things yourself? Have you seen them with your own eyes?
Wait a minute. You're asking me whether I can see an ant at 50,000 miles with my own eyes. Is that seriously what you just asked?
That's a no, then.
It's an assumption. That means it's an assumption.
Okay, brilliant. There is something accurately controlled. There is something accurately controlled, speed and position up there that transmits shit to me. That's all I know then. But I have seen many videos.
How many miles away?
To us, right?
Nothing up there. Nothing up there.
How many miles away?
Nothing.
Are you
if it was
able
up
to
there,
figure that out?
Have our image. Listen, if they're up there, we'd have our image of Earth long time ago. So it's not there because we still don't have a video real time showing us Earth. We don't have it, so there can't be any up there.
Well, you have the ISS, and not every satellite is to take photos for you.
ISS has shown us nothing. Nothing.
So you completely disregard all the videos of the ISS where they're on harnesses and wires, and they've been caught inside studios.
Wait a minute. What? I completely disregard something that has never been proved to me. No, I don't completely disregard it because it's never been proved to me.
It's their own videos.
Yeah, so are continuous shots of about 20 minutes of continuous shots. So are emptying viscous liquids into the near weightlessness of the ISS and showing how they form.
Yeah, videos aren't proof to me,
you work in the area.
21 years.
People can spot these fucking nonsense.
Well, if videos aren't proof of you and you need personal experience, then I'm really sorry. You are back in the medieval ages where personal experience is the only thing that you can go off.
You're in an imaginary world.
Knowledge accumulated by civilizations can't actually happen.
Right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you've got to take your senses first before anything else. Your senses tell you. They inform you.
The truther movement started with 9/11, and the truthers that they disregard FE as a psyop, but they concede that NASA is full of shit. But you believe them, and that's a litmus test for me.
No, whoa! I did not say I believe NASA. How many times?
You said every international station.
Yeah. No, there are 50 agencies or something like that across.
But they all do. So therefore, you do.
No, I've seen all the images, all the video, all the well, not all of them, enough to think, wow, we're really good at this now.
You're not very good at lying, Dean. You're not very good at putting across your.
So you trust the government? All governments, they never lie to us.
Right. Okay. So at what point did I say that? At what point did I say that? Just name one point where I said that.
When you said there's 50 agencies.
Forget about other agencies.
That's when you said it.
What's been given out.
So
I
commented.
So they can't be lying. They can't be lying.
I commented.
Hey,
there are a number of 50 agents.
Can I talk without being interrupted?
Go for it.
For fuck's sake, man. You said there's 50 agencies, so there's the proof. Governments lie. They fucking lie for money. Aerospace is $900 billion in America. You don't think they would lie for money?
So you're asking me a number of questions there, yet you've told me to shut up. I said there are 50 agencies, a number of the amount of space agencies around. At no point did I say I trust every single one of them and I believe every fucking government. I'm really sorry if that's what you heard. That isn't what I said.
So why did you bring them up then? Just answer the question then.
Because for 50, well, because 50 agencies put out videos, images, and we have their technology that's in use today. So it's like, that's pretty overwhelming.
Right. So
even if now, don't get now. Wait a minute. If you ask me, is out of all of those, is there a possibility that some of them are fake or some of them are lying and they did it for budgetary purposes? Quite possibly. But the overwhelming evidence of GPS satellites up there and being able to track them, of Astrosat in the UK being able to find out its elevation and tune into it from a directional dish. You know, these are very compelling reasons to think, oh, it can't be balloons because they'd be blowing all over the place.
So you never looked into any imagery with fakery in mind, and you are a graphics expert. You've never looked into any imagery in spite of all the controversy.
I absolutely did look into imagery,
so
especially
NASA. Have you found any fakery with NASA?
Especially the moon landings. I looked into
yeah,
a fair few images.
With that?
Do you believe they went to the moon? Do you believe?
Hang on, did you find lots of fakery when you analyzed?
Jesus Christ! I'll tell you what. I can have a conversation with only one person. I can answer only one question.
Answer my question first, please. Did you find any fakery associated with the moon? Did you find any fakery associated with your investigation into the moon images from NASA? Yes or no?
Right.
No, I didn't. I thought I did to begin with, Pete. I absolutely
thought I did there for a small bit.
No, I thought I did to begin with.
This question in, yeah. Do you believe NASA went to the moon 6 times in the Apollo missions?
I believe that NASA have definitely gone to the moon. I don't know about 6 times.
Oh, come on. If they went once, then they went 6 times. Come on.
Well,
if you believe they went once, that means you believe they went 6 times. I mean, that's a silly answer.
Well, no, I've not looked at all 6 to give you a definitive answer. I just won't make a conclusion based off hearsay and made up bullshit. I would have to look at it, and I haven't.
But you are though, because they never went.
And what evidence do you have of that? What evidence do you have of that?
So we have a graphics engineer. Hang on. Yeah, this is a deeper
for starters.
What about the moon rocks?
Deeper part of it, because this man is qualified in computer graphics, and we have his testimony here that he has examined NASA imagery from the moon for fakery, and he thought he might have seen a bit here or there, but it turns out no, that he can give it the tick and the pass.
How'd they get moon rocks then?
You've got David Percy, photographer. David Percy, the photographer of the Royal Society of Photography, a professional, and he tells us there is no way those shots were taken on the moon. Okay? And
I don't know what those shots refer to, but
right, of all the millions of anomalies
that were taken from the Apollo 11. The Apollo 11 missions.
All of the millions of anomalies that have been found with the imagery. This is all nonsense, and we have this now from the qualified graphics artist.
If someone wants to point out to me just one image that's got an anomaly,
I will.
Any of them.
Hello.
Any of them.
There's a video.
I don't want some flat earther video. I want the actual image.
It's a BBC video.
Don't you want it?
A BBC documentary in the 80s where they break down how the Apollo missions are fake. There's different shadows. There's different light sources.
Yeah,
it's been thoroughly debunked in the 80s.
That one is called, what happened on the moon. It's a 3-hour documentary, and they go through.
I'll drop the link right now.
Forensic science.
I don't want a video explaining.
You know what you're like?
Viewpoint.
You're like a little kid putting your fingers in your ear. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I want the source image. Just give me
one image. What you want, man?
Get the source image.
Honest to God, who gives a fuck what you want?
Yeah, we don't care. Why are you here? Why are you here? We don't care. We don't care what you have to say. Why are you here?
We're telling you
to waste time. This is what they do. They bring the argument back to square one.
Hello, can you hear me?
Is allowed
can I be heard? Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Mic
check.
Everybody.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hold on. Everyone, chill out, dude. Everybody. Everybody's here to discuss things, right? Like, that's why he's here, GM. That's why you're here, to discuss things, man.
Yeah.
He's asking for something really simple. Anybody on this panel that has an opposing view should be able to pull this up within 2 minutes, dude. I'm doing dishes right now. I can't get up to my computer to be able to do this. It should be like a 5-minute exercise. It should take 5 minutes for you to show him something. I mean, come on, that's not difficult.
Yes, that's right.
He said he doesn't care and he doesn't want to look at the videos. He doesn't
No,
care.
okay. He said, don't give him a video link. Don't give him a link. Give him, like...
Well, these are professionals. You know, you see, the thing
somebody pull up the actual footage of like fucking NASA or something right now, okay?
That's
and
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop it in the
there we
chat.
go. There we go.
Right. In order to get a fuller understanding, you're going to need to you're going to need to listen to the professionals, and it takes 3 hours. That's the thing. It's a 3-hour video that I'm telling you to watch.
That's
And
not
they cover
what
everything. They cover the radiation
Jin, he
side.
doesn't need to watch a 3-hour video, dude. He needs somebody to pull up the footage right now and show him one anomaly. That's all he's asking, dude.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Like, why does he need to watch a 3-hour documentary to
I dropped
do
a
that?
link in the chat. It's 20 minutes long.
That's why.
It's by Image Experts. It was on the BBC, so check it out.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Stingray, dude. I'll tell you what, man. I'll make a deal with you. Give me a couple minutes to finish doing the dishes, dude, and I'll go upstairs and do it. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't think anyone's really understanding what you're asking. Like,
I understand what he's asking.
Well enough, Uber, and we have experience. I've experienced with this guy before as well. So if you're just new to this character, that's fair enough. But why don't you bring up a picture that you've analyzed, Stingray, and walk us through how you've ruled out the fakery?
I did one on Jose's show. That's what I'm saying. Give me an image that you think has got an anomaly, and I'll have a look at it and see what the anomaly is.
But of all the hundreds, or
I'm not doing hundreds, Pete. I'll do one.
But of all the hundreds or the thousands that you have analyzed, you have given.
No, I've not analyzed thousands. I've looked at a few photos and thought, hang about, these are good.
I spent ages investigating all of this when I came
across it. 10 years. 10 years. 10 years I've done.
I also pointed you to Clues Forum, where they have an ongoing thread with hundreds of pages at this stage, just pointing out all of the different anomalies. But that escapes you as well.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if I can find anomalies, or someone can point to an anomaly that I think, hang about, this is cool, this is weird, this can't be true.
Get one of the LEM. Just get one of the LEM on the moon, for example, and see all the different angles. Get one of the LEM.
I think the moon rocks are pretty definitive. Like, I don't think you could have faked moon rocks.
Yeah. The one with the picture with the sea, the rock with the sea on it.
Hey, P. Mars, you remember the story that was leaked to us, petrified wood? Maybe there's a clue there for us, right? So we're associating the moon and moon rocks with petrified wood. What might be the connection?
Yeah. Everyone brings up petrified wood when I say the moon rocks, but there's rocks from the moon that aren't petrified wood that are definitely formed on the moon because they're.
I don't know where you're coming from, mister, but you're deluded, man. How can you say there's moon rocks? You're deluded, man. You're delusional.
I read this
in yourself. You've never seen this. All evidence points to they never went, and here you are talking like the moon rocks are there. They're physical. Come on, man. You're delusional.
I read an article from a geologist who analyzed these rocks, and he said they were formed in an environment.
Yeah, and then you've got Bill Casing and his best friend, and he worked for Rocketdyne, and his friends laughed. He said it's laughable what they're trying to pass off as moon rock.
So I dropped the link in the back chat and on the chat. Check it out sometime.
This guy said these rocks.
Hey, Patrick, please finish what you were saying, bro.
Well, this guy said these rocks formed in an environment with no oxygen or water or like low gravity like the moon. So I don't know. I think it'd be pretty hard to fake, but I guess it doesn't necessarily mean the moon missions are real. Like they could have sent a robot to the moon to collect the rocks, I suppose.
What the fuck?
Well, that's just what I read from this geologist guy. saying that.
Actually, you can read anything, PMRs. But my
It
point
sounded
was,
like pretty good evidence to me.
as
but,
everything is scripted, right? My point was, did they expose something, or were they exposing something when they said that the moon rocks that Buzz Aldrin passed on to the museum in Amsterdam was actually petrified wood? So this can bring us back to, well, for me, pieces of the greater puzzle. It involves the destruction of giant trees and what actually all forms of matter are in relation to the original form. This is what sand is, right? So we ask ourselves, where did all the sand and all the beaches and all the earth come from? And, you know, when we go along these lines, then, well, maybe we can follow the clues and put our pieces together that are there to be put together.
Sorry, did Uber say that he'd put something in the back chat? Is that the group chat attached to this video call?
Yeah, I put a link. It was a BBC documentary.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I actually wanted the source image though, not like a video. I wanted like
Well, they use source images. It's not like they made them up.
No. I mean, you can if someone gives me a reference to the image or has a link to the NASA archive, I can actually just have a look at the source image rather than having to look at what you know.
You know how many images NASA has and how easy it is to find them? It's not very easy. So, you know, you're talking about a really hard thing to do.
All right, okay.
I mean,
because someone presented me with one before, and it wasn't that hard for me to find it. I think they gave me a link to the NASA archive, and I downloaded it to have a look. So
the thing is, this isn't some YouTube video that someone just made. This was on the BBC, so.
Yeah, I mean, so was 9/11 coverage and reporting on Tower 7 before it fell. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So any proof I come up with, you know, it's no good.
No, hearsay isn't proof. I wanted the actual source image. Yeah. So you're saying the BBC are believable, yeah? You trust the BBC that reported your Tower 7?
You trust NASA? What's the difference?
I didn't say I trust NASA. I said the evidence that I've looked at.
Well, you're saying you want NASA's fucking images.
I know. I just wanted one single image that you can point to say, "Hey, look, this is why this is wrong."
Do you know how many images? You know how many images there are of the Apollo missions? Thousands.
What? So, just pick one of them.
There's specific ones that they talk about in this. I mean, just watch the video. It's 20 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it now. If there was one image that I can look at.
You don't have to watch it now. Just sometime watch it, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You don't need to watch that video. This should be so simple. It should take like 10 minutes for somebody to pull up
Uber
out of the NASA archives.
To find the exact pictures in that documentary, you would have to go through thousands of images.
You don't have to. There's probably there's tons of them.
There's specific images that show different light sources.
What's up, guys?
Okay. Yeah. Like I know what you're talking about because like the other day on my show I did where I broke down what was it? Which landing did they say it was? I think it was Apollo 15. Yeah, I think it was Apollo 15. Where you could see that the light source reflecting off his helmet, you could actually see like the stand that it was on, you know, like.
But did you get it from NASA or did you go to Google Images?
I got the footage from where did I get the footage from? Dude, hell, the footage was just a screenshot off of a video that they were talking about. Like when they showed like a full screen of it, I made my screen a full screen and just took a screenshot of it.
But he wants direct source from NASA, the image number, all that.
I know, but what I'm saying is I've done this before where I found images from NASA and it was not difficult. I just can't do it right now because I'm not upstairs. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, when people ask for proof,
just really quickly, shouldn't it be all of the images from a certain mission are fake? It could just be any of them, couldn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Well, he would be saying some of the images show the fakery more so than others.
Yeah, it's those that I'd want to look at. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Uber, if you could bring those up, that'd be cool.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, I'm downstairs. I am in the middle of, like, I'm doing dishes. I'm eating lunch. I'm getting ready to take off to San Diego in a minute so I can go try to make some money. Like,
it's all good. It's not that important.
I thought having a panel of researchers on here, it shouldn't be that difficult. Fuck, you know what? Hold on. Let me just go upstairs real quick.
I mean, really, it's not that important. Making money is more important.
Uber, yeah, no, I can come back and you can show me later if you can still hear.
Yeah, this is the first time you're doing any of this, right, Dean? How long are you in this debunking business now? About 3-4 years?
Hey, stop it. You're a hell of a character. You're a scripted individual,
No,
and I'm sure you're an actor.
Why am I a hell of a character? I'm just stating the truth, right? Waste of time.
No, you're not.
These sort of inverted commas conversations just wasting my time. Sick of them. You learn nothing. Back over the same shit again from that you've done already years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when you try to be helpful, no matter what I post here, I posted a link to a book by Bill Casing. You heard of Bill Casing? He's one of the original moon landing deniers. Right, but I posted a link in chat. You might be interested in reading through that. He actually worked in the aerospace industry, and he was one of the first.
Why are you mad at everyone?
To call out the moon landings as a hoax. We were always meant to see through it anyway.
Why is that your style of, like, personable? Like, you're mad at everyone you meet. Like, you're so much smarter and you hate everyone you talk to.
I know this guy. Hang on, man. I know this guy Dean from years at this stage, so I know what he does. So what do you want me to do when I know he's just wasting time?
No. I mean the way you explain things to other people who have no say in what you're talking about. They just are talked down to, like they're idiots.
Who am I talking down to now, man?
It's the way you project yourself. I mean, do we all come in? Can anyone else agree with me? No, like, am I an idiot? Am I wrong in this?
Are you talking about Pete? You're talking
about?
Oh, I don't think it. I don't see it like that.
I've talked to Pete a few times. I don't take anything he says seriously. So,
well, that's different. That's a whole different story.
I get where Pete's coming from because I'm frustrated with these people too that just show up and.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems.
But
like
I try not to be disrespectful. I know that I am here and there.
I guess not. No, maybe it's his accent. It's probably just his accent, P. Right? It's. Do you hear it too? Do you know what I'm talking about, P?
You talking to me?
No. P. Mars. Do you know what I mean about P. Shay? Kinda. I'm not trying to be a dick either. That's what I feel from his voice. Like.
Yeah, because I'm frustrated now at Stingray, and I know that he's just doing what he does, and which is tantamount just a waste of time.
So it's all right. I take back what I said. I'm sorry.
You don't have to take back anything. If you have a certain point of view of me, that's fine. It's fine.
I don't know, something about your attitude seems like
yeah, there's so many actors and wasters in the whole arena, right? That's all.
No, I'm not saying you're not real. No, you're.
But
you're
yeah, we'll put
real.
it we'll put our legs in the air and think of the Queen rather than calling people out.
I agree with Pete, but at the same time, this is Uber's channel, and I don't want to
yeah, I'm not trying to cause any trouble here. My bad for stating my opinion. Sorry.
No, Charm, you're just fine stating your opinion, bro.
Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Kind of like he's like the way he talks to people. It just kind of like.
I don't know. I think he's fine.
I talk to people fine, man. But if I'm
I listen to you a lot though. Is also
right.
The case.
Right, but there's a lot of fucking liars around as well, right? There's a lot of liars around.
I agree with most of what you say. What you say. Yeah, no. We don't have a problem. I listen to you on Jose's all the time, and it's just the way.
About Aristarchus, you know.
Don't even start with the Aristarchus.
Why not? That's the ultimate answer. That's the singular source of all of the
Let's
mystery.
go on Arwen's.
And that is why I don't take Pete seriously at all.
Why is that then? You haven't considered it? Have you considered as a flat earther that all of the skylights might have one
Because
singular
this
source?
Aristarchus nonsense is the root of all of his beliefs. So nothing he says
So tell us
stemming
what
from
you know
that,
about
I
it,
take
Fletcher.
seriously.
Well, I do kind of agree with him that the
Tell
whole
us what you
world
know
is
about
a
it,
tree.
Fletcher.
I do agree with
Fletcher's
him that the
another
whole
sidekick
world.
of Dean here, in case you don't know who Fletcher is.
The tree. I don't know Fletcher. I don't know who this guy is who's like making fun of you. But
Right, so everything Dean has said, Fletcher would agree with.
I do agree with the whole world was a tree, the tree of life. You know.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
That decapitated tree is Aristarchus, man.
Okay. All right. Great.
Which you can see in its crater form, reflected form on the moon, right? As crater Aristarchus, and we're told that's the most mysterious
all
crater
that I don't know about.
on the
All
moon.
that I can't say either way. But
right. But
I do
most
agree
wise
with the
otherwise.
mountains and all the land being a tree root, like a stem, if you will.
Right.
Cut off stem.
Now you can look at the tree of life when you look into Aristarchus, because everything is Aristarchus as it kaleidoscopically reflects.
I've never really I've just heard you say Aristarchus about 1 million times. That's all. So I've never really looked into it because it's like like what the fuck.
So tell me what the sun is, Sean. Tell me what you know beyond the basics.
I have no
idea. You have no idea. So I'm going to listen to you then, haven't I?
No, I don't expect anyone to listen to me.
Yeah.
If
so what's it all
if you're
about
listening
then?
to
Why
me,
are
you're an
you
idiot.
spending so much of your precious time talking if you're not getting anywhere?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Are you getting anywhere?
Dodo.
Are you getting anywhere, Dodo? Are you getting anywhere?
Yeah, you can get places, right? But that's a
Are you getting anywhere? Have you gotten anywhere? Or are you just screaming about flat earth for the last 4 years, like the rest of us?
No, yes, I have got lots of places. Yes.
Where have you gotten?
Well, you said you go along with some of the stuff I've said, so obviously you've heard what I've had to say, but I've come a long way in terms of my own, I feel, understanding of this greater picture.
Okay, so just more, it's just about self-awareness.
But that's what we're on here, isn't it? This sort of quest for truth. So we're doing it in a sort of collective sense, right?
Yeah, and that's why I'm good friends with Merle. I don't know if you know Merle.
Yeah.
And Jibby Jedi as well.
Yeah. Right.
Self-awareness crew. We want to know what. We don't care what it is. We want to know what it is. You know, I said that wrong. You know, we don't care where we are, but we want to know what the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
So how far have you come then? That's what I'm asking you. How far have you come? And for me, I can tell you what I think the stars are. I can tell you what I think the moon and the sun is.
Wait,
so
no, I can't have a theory on it.
No.
You can't have a theory. Those are lights in the sky, maximum. You can't travel there. You cannot travel there. How dare you claim you know what the stars are?
But you just said we want to know, man. You said this is what we're here for. We want to know. We want to know the truth. So I ask you, what do you know? And how far have you come from where you started off, right?
Well, I don't have a damn UFO. What do you want me to do? Hop in my UFO and like travel around?
If you don't know, does that mean that nobody might know?
Yes.
If you think that you can't know, does that make it so?
Well, the government might know. I mean, they've been experimenting for years. They might know, but I don't think they do. But you know,
so you can't know from here on in. Then, so what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Make my money and live.
Clearly a waste of time.
Make my money and live as a slave. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but what we do on these hangouts is clearly a waste of time. We just hours pile up, and you generally come out just as wise as you did when you come in, right? I'm talking in general now with these type of hangouts. Everything has been gone over.
Okay, so I shouldn't be here, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying that, but if you were hoping for answers, but yet you accepted you can't have answers, that's a bit contradictory, and it doesn't quite make sense. And that's why I asked you, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Is there a conspiracy behind Google Hangouts? I think so. we're wasting our time on here when we could be doing something about this here government.
Can we play poker, P Mars?
Can I say something real quick?
Please.
So I've been listening for the past few
minutes,
or past about 30 minutes or so. I wasn't able to talk because I was driving. I didn't want to have so much background noise. But so apparently, obviously, the consensus on the board is that the Earth is flat and the government lies. Correct?
Pretty much. Yep. Sounds accurate.
Okay. So I'm not a scientist. I don't consider myself an intellectual at all. I have traveled the world, and I have seen many things before I even thought about whether the Earth is a flat or a globe. I do concede, number one, that the government lies about things. What those are, I mean, I haven't looked into it too much right now to tell you for sure what they're lying about or not. But I do concede that happens. I do concede that the government keeps secrets from us and things like that. I don't jump to a conspiracy theory about that, just because if I just believe that there's too many inconsistencies to think that there would be a conspiracy theory going on. Is there more to it than what they say? Probably. But again, I don't just immediately jump to that conclusion. Everything that I've seen and everything that I've experienced tells me that the Earth is a globe.
Have you seen chemtrails?
I have seen contrails, yes.
Okay.
He doesn't even chemtrail. Oh my God.
That's all I need to know.
We got a freshwater babe over here.
Yeah, you do. You got stale water. Just pretend it to be fresh water. I mean, what's wrong with you?
So,
Can't see these
question for you.
Okay,
hold on.
anyway.
About the chemtrails.
Hold on, everyone. Do you all realize how weird it sounds when everyone says that, though? Like, oh my God, you don't believe in chemtrails, or oh my God, you don't believe in 9/11, or oh my God, dude, there's something that somebody doesn't know somewhere, you know? Like,
fair.
It shouldn't be that big of a surprise to us. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just didn't realize it's your way of judging the level of conspiracy person.
Why should you need to judge anything? Just listen to what.
If you have prior experience, Uber.
Like,
if you have prior experience.
Because there's levels of belief, Uber. There's levels of belief.
You're just
These
creating
people are acting their part and they're playing for the same.
creating a new hierarchy, like
time.
a new pyramid of domination.
I just asked the question because I'm trying to see where he's at. That's all.
Yeah. Basically, it's like a feel out. It's like a feel out. It's like, oh, where are you at in conspiracy world? That's all I mean.
Jim, you were fine asking the question, bro. I'm talking about Sean's react, like the way.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. All right, I take it back.
Oh my God, that explains a lot to you. No wonder why you sound like a fucking mass murderer. You know, like.
I get it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, my bad. I'll take it back, and I apologize, sir. New person who we don't know yet.
Tonight, Sean.
So by the way, you guys can address me as Fletch. It's fine. So if you want to see,
are you a transgender, Fletch?
Oh my God.
There's this one guy named
rude, man.
There's this one guy named JLB, and he has this whole chart where he's like, depending on what conspiracies you accept as true or something, you're like he goes like you're a baby hoaxer, teeny hoaxer, adult hoaxer, granddaddy hoaxer, whatever. It's like, I think that shit's pathetic.
That's a weird sounding thing.
What are you, P Mars? We got the biggest faker around in P Mars.
Well, like I joke around.
Fine.
I would joke around and be cocky and say that I'm the best or something as
He's
a joke.
just from the East.
If I were to be honest with you.
Okay,
like,
can I ask that question about the chemtrails?
I think we're all equal.
Go for it.
Sure, of course we are.
Okay.
So what about chemtrails?
Chemtrails. I'm assuming that stands for chemical trails, correct?
Yeah, they spray liquids out of the exhaust.
What liquids?
Listen to this nonsense, as if he's only hearing it for the first time. I'm out of here.
Strontium, barium,
Take it easy, I'm out of here.
Can I say something here?
It's not liquid, it's like
they admitted at the UN that they are spraying stuff in the air, but it's to stop global warming.
That's
right.
admitted.
That's their new excuse. That's their new. Oh, we're gonna stop global warming.
Where I live, we can see them like every single day doing patterns in the sky, and it's not contrails. Contrails go away. You know, these form clouds.
They disappear. Yeah, these sit there for 3 hours in a line.
Okay, because I understand how contrails work. I have not seen any evidence of.
Are you fucking stupid? You never looked into your sky. You've never seen it.
That's unnecessary.
All right, yeah. See, yeah, right. That's what you were calling out.
Bye, Sean.
Yeah, it's unnecessary to call people stupid or anything like that.
Right. So anyway, so yes, like I said, I understand how contrails work. I have not seen, from my experience, being in planes from looking up in the sky, because I have looked up in the sky, that pilots would endanger not only themselves but their families by spraying chemicals. So my question is what is the scientific evidence of that, or what research that has been done, and where can I'm not saying that you have to bring it all up now, but maybe send me a link to that. What exactly is the research behind that? Who came to the conclusion that they were all the stuff that you listed, and what verification?
I didn't list that. Someone else listed that. I didn't list that. I just say that, I mean, something is happening. I don't know what. Where I live in Southern California, you could see them almost every single day. And the UN admitted that it's to stop global warming. So, I mean, something is being sprayed, but what it is, I don't know. Okay, so let's say that is true. I don't know if it is. I would have to look at it, but I'm gonna assume that is true. That the UN said we are spraying something in the air, and it is because of global warming, and that's what we're trying to stop. Yeah.
So you're saying that that's a lie, correct?
I'm not saying that's a lie. I'm saying that they are spraying stuff, and it's not contrails.
Okay.
And that's admitted.
Okay, so
and I just really wonder, you know, what are they spraying exactly? You know, I just wonder. You know, I don't know what they're spraying.
Okay, and the reason why I ask is because I have seen footage, and I've seen for myself that these trails and chemtrails that you guys say that they do disappear, and that clouds are not formed from these chemtrails. I understand how clouds are formed. So
they're not like huge. They're not like huge clouds, but they turn into little clouds, and they stay up there for hours and hours.
Well, yes, but I mean that would depend on. I mean that's the nature of condensation, depending on the conditions.
Not really, because you could see regular planes leaving contrails, and then they go away after not even less than an hour.
Again, it depending on the conditions that they're flying into. So what I mean by that, some conditions, obviously with colder air, the icicles are going to form, and depending on the altitude where you see them, some will stay longer than others, but they do disappear eventually. So and I've not seen any reports of people being affected by these so-called chemtrails.
Well,
if anybody else says something different, then let me know.
Here's the thing. There's a Howard Hughes patent for basically putting chemicals and spraying them out through airline exhaust for the purposes of geoengineering. And I think some people confuse contrails with chemtrails, but it is a real thing. There's a real patent out there. And
what's this pattern?
They kind of do like a square pattern.
Howard Hughes.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking to P. He said that there was a patent owned by Howard Hughes saying this. What is that patent? So I can look at it.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it.
And you said there was a square pattern. Elaborate on that.
So they'll come from each direction, north, south, east, west, and it'll form a square in the middle.
Okay. Now, are these chemtrails, are these all planned? Do they have flight patterns for this?
I don't know. But
Okay.
I see them almost every single day.
Okay.
And
So you
not
see them.
and it's
Go
not
ahead.
just in Southern California. It's all over the world. People are seeing them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Missouri, and so I see. I live literally almost about 20 minutes away from an airport, and I mean I see them coming through all the time. I've seen the condensation coming from the planes, and they do disappear. Now, I'm going to make an admission. I myself did not go up into the sky and take the chemicals that are coming from the plane and analyze them myself. But with the knowledge that I have about how they form, I can safely say that I don't believe that they're purposely spraying chemtrails. Now, again, you said that it's admitted by the United Nations. I would have to look at that
Yeah,
and
it
see
is.
what the context.
It
See what
is
the context in that is.
You're basing this off like people. You're watching videos of people just filming airplanes and they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
No. P Mars. Again, I'm not basing it off of that. I said nothing about videos. From my knowledge of how contrails work, I don't see any evidence of chemtrails. That's what I said. I didn't say because of a video that I don't believe it.
But they're the same.
I don't get my information off YouTube videos. Let's be clear. I don't get my information off YouTube videos. I get my information off going and learning the information, learning the science about how it works. Not from videos.
It's a patent, right? To have chemicals come out of jetliner exhaust to help with geoengineering. It's to fight global warming or some shit like that. And people have got that confused with contrails. So there's a lot of confusion where people are confusing what chemtrails really are with contrails, because there's a lot of people that are misinformed.
Okay. Now, have any of you guys analyzed or know anyone that have analyzed these the stuff that's coming out of these planes and concluded that they are?
I guess some people have, but I haven't really. I don't look that deeply into it. I see it. I know that it's happening, but other people.
I've seen a meteorologist analyze it, and he found the same chemicals that were mentioned in the patent that I read about. So.
Okay, P Mars, I would safely bet my paycheck that that's not true. So, anyway.
Well, I dropped like four links in the back chat from chemtrails in Missouri. You might want to check that out.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out. Yeah.
It was on a TV show with Joe Rogan. He interviewed a meteorologist, and he did a hit piece on the chemtrail conspiracy. He tried to make it look stupid. That's why you have this opinion based on propaganda that you've absorbed.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The propaganda is the same across the board. You've voiced your opinion, and you have the opinion of someone that's absorbed propaganda on what you think chemtrail conspiracy is.
No, PC, you're making an assumption about me that is
I'm
not
absolutely
true.
not, because I just listened to you speak.
No. So you obviously did not listen.
Fletch, the only reason I brought this up is because you were saying you didn't see that there was any conspiracy. I just brought it up. That's the only reason I brought it up.
Okay, yeah, I understand. And to P Mars, you obviously didn't listen to me. I did not say that I've swallowed anything from any kind of propaganda or whatever. That's getting too deep into stuff that you have no evidence for. What I'm saying is, from my knowledge of how contrails work, and from my experience that I have had flying in planes, in cockpits of planes when I was in the Navy, so on and so forth, I don't see any evidence of people spraying chemical trails. Now, again, I've not seen all of the evidence for both sides, so obviously there's still more to look at, and that's why I asked for the links that's saying the UN has admitted that. But what I'm saying is, from the evidence that I've seen myself, and from the knowledge that I have, I don't see any evidence of that. Nowhere did I say that I watched any kind of video or read any kind of propaganda to say that, and then I believe what they said. That's not how that works.
Contrails have nothing to do with chemtrails. So you have the opinion of this propaganda that the chemtrail conspiracy is this idea that contrails or something are forming clouds or whatever you were saying. That's the propaganda that you absorbed and repeated.
You're absolutely wrong. But okay, we'll move on since we're not going to come to any kind of agreement on that. So I also listened to the evidence that, or the assertion that the moon landings are a hoax. You said that there's a PBS video on that?
Yeah, I think that's what GM said. It was a PBS video.
PB. Okay.
No, BBC. My bad. Right.
BBC. Okay. The reason why I asked that is because BBC is obviously British Broadcasting Network. They're a mainstream media, which people say mainstream media lies. So I'm wanting to know how somebody would tell if something is lying, or if mainstream media was lying about one story and telling the truth about another.
Well, that's why I don't listen to the BBC. I was always taught to believe, Fletch, I was always taught to believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see.
I agree with that. I would agree with that statement. Yes, and obviously, I think that it would depend on the context of what you're analyzing. But in general, yes, I would agree with that. But my point is, and it's not just BBC. It's whatever news you can name, a news network, whatever. Conspiracy theorists will take some things that they say and say that's true, but then take some other things that they say and say, oh, that's obviously a hoax. And I'm trying to figure out why people who believe that, in all these hoaxes, how do they determine what's a hoax and what's not a hoax?
Well,
one way I do it is I look at the agendas, like Agenda 21 or what type of agendas they have. And if a news story is supporting an agenda, then it's probably not true, in my opinion. There's a political agenda.
I'm gonna give an example. This is a very, very simplified example, but I believe that it comes to the same point that you just made. So I have a job. In my job, I have the best intentions toward my customers, but I also have an agenda. That agenda is to get paid and take care of my family. So just because someone has an agenda does not make their information false. So currently, I'm not in the Navy right now. I work for an HVAC company, and the things that I say to customers are absolutely true, or else I wouldn't have a job. But the reason behind that is my agenda is I'm trying to make money. The reason why I'm trying to make money is so I can pay for my family. So asserting saying, hey, they have an agenda here, therefore their information is false, I don't believe is accurate. That's, again, simplified example. That's very, very simplified. But I believe the idea is sound.
Hey, Fletch, that example is kind of subjective, though, because that's you. Now, what if you were a criminal and instead of your agenda being like you helping the customers and stuff like that, and you go on that extra step, what if your agenda behind that wasn't that you were trying to help them along, but your idea was that you could actually get their information when you ran their credit card and you could go on a shopping spree later on? Because I've known people like that, actually, that have done stuff like that.
That's valid. That's a valid point, and I agree with that. That's not the overall point, though. The overall point is that anyone can have an agenda, not not everyone's agenda is to deceive somebody. So yes, that is true. That can happen. I've seen that happen. I've been the victim of that happening from what you just said. However,
well, don't you feel like if someone has an ulterior motive to gain by reporting on an issue, that it's less trustworthy?
again, somebody's ulterior motive is not always cynical. Here's, I mean, we can go through what ifs all day long. No, you're not wrong. Well, like I said, we can go through what ifs all day long. The overall point is, without the actual proof saying that this is what they're saying, I've proven that they're false. Here's why they're false, and here's their agenda behind it.
I'm at UN.org right now.
Okay.
And what's up on my screen right now is stratospheric aerosol injections. Due to the great uncertainties over effectiveness and side effects of climate engineering, including the risk of disrupting natural systems, experts think that there is a need to discuss climate engineering governance, especially as it relates to stratospheric aerosol injections. Stratospheric aerosol injections consist of injecting sulfate aerosols into the stratosphere with aircraft or balloons to create a global dimming effect.
Okay. Okay. Great. So let's assume that that's true, and I have no, without looking more into it, I have no reason to doubt that it's false. So what does that? What's the issue with that? Because it seems to me that it seems to me that people are saying they're spraying chemtrails and they're trying to hide it, but in this particular article, they're telling you exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it.
So then why are there so many people out there though that when someone says, "Oh, they're spraying something in the sky," they're like, "No, you're fucking crazy. That's just contrails."
But they denied it for a while.
Like, I mean, so why, when you do bring up that they are spraying, which they're admitting to, why are you now told that you're nuts, they're contrails, when they are admitting to spraying out a plane a chemical?
Well, what you said about somebody calling somebody else nuts, that depends on the individual. My issue is saying that it's chemtrails, just jumping to the conclusion that it's chemtrails without any other evidence. Now, you just brought me an article that says the UN sprays chemicals for the purposes of dimming global warming.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
So again, that's okay. So again, let's assume that that's true, and you're giving me evidence, so I'm going to say, okay, yeah, that's true. It doesn't seem like they're hiding anything.
Well, you know what? They hide everything in plain sight, dude. That's the best place to hide something, is in plain sight.
So they hide it in plain sight, but they're smart enough to hide something in plain sight, but they're not smart enough to hide it very well.
The thing is, like,
well, no, hiding it in plain sight is the most effective way for them to get it done and get it across without anyone actually noticing, because it's hidden.
But obviously it's not working. So,
well, it is, because most of the world, when someone brings this up, responds with, "You're crazy." So it is working.
But I'm talking to people here who are not buying it. So you're telling me we're
a small percentage. We're a small percentage of the population.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
You can't fool everybody, man. You can't fool everybody all the time.
Okay. So am I just not smart enough to get it? Is that?
No, dude, you're very bright, bro. I mean, the stuff that you've been saying, a lot of it, you have really good answers for things, man. And I like your view on what you're hearing about chemtrails, because it's kind of what makes me cringe like nails on a chalkboard when I hear some people talk about them, even though I subscribe to the idea that there are chemtrails, you know. Just because I've seen people point out a contrail and go, look, a chemtrail, and I'm watching it fucking disappear like 5 minutes later, you know? Like, and I'm like, no, that's not a contrail. Like, or it's not a chemtrail. That is a contrail, you know? It's like, but like with me, Fletch, is I remember when I was younger going to air shows. I've always liked looking at planes and stuff, right? Whenever I have heard a plane in the sky above me, I always have tried to find it to see if I could see it, because sometimes that shit's way up there and you can't see it. All you can see is the contrail going to it, you know?
Right.
Like, that's the only reason why you can see it, is because you do see that little line going to it. But most of those contrails that I've ever seen, within 15, 20 minutes, like, it dissipates, you know? Like, maybe a half hour tops, you know? Like, it dissipates. It disperses. With what I see sprayed out of most of these planes now, when they make that weird checker pattern across the sky, that stuff lingers and it stays there for hours and hours and hours. And because I keep hearing about this, then now that Snack's got a camera, I actually want to set it up outside one day. When I notice them freshly spray what looks like a chemtrail, and I want to start recording it, and then I want to record and see how long that stays up there, you know? Because Fletch, would you agree that contrails usually disappear, right? Like,
yes.
If a contrail stays up in the sky for like 5-6 hours, would you say something's up with that?
Yeah, I would say no. I would not agree. I agree that contrails are supposed to disappear. I don't agree that there is a set time that they need to be in the air for them to be considered contrails.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you consider that something's a little bit off with that? It'd be out of the norm of what you've experienced and seen regarding contrails, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't disappear at all, then yes, obviously there's something up. But there is no study that says contrails last this long, and if they last longer than this, then they're not contrails. Now with that being said, the only thing other than what's the word I'm trying to use? Condensation that is in there that I will absolutely agree that is in there is sulfur. And I know that, again, based on what I know because that sulfur is actually from the exhaust, from the fuel, but and that is part of what you see in the condensation. But that is from the engine. That is not someone purposely putting that in there. So
yeah. And you know what? You actually gave me a really good idea, and I was thinking about doing this before, and now that I'm back, I want to, because I've noticed that, like, on cars, right? There's a film that, like, I have to wash my car more often now, you know? And that's a little annoying. And because there always seems to be this, like, weird, like, gray dust of film, right? So I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start, like, collecting that, right? Because, I mean, if it's dust, right, just normal dust blowing, it shouldn't be, like, packed with, like, aluminum and what was it? The other different sulfates that they're supposedly spraying, right? Like, if all that is found, like, in this gray dust on my car or whatever, you know, I think that would be a good example, right? Like, especially if I, like, went around town or I did it, like, around my house around Riverside, and then I went, like, 70, 80 miles to LA and I did it there, you know, like, and if you get, like, the same results, basically, you know, or not really, you probably won't get the same results because different variables with the different dust flying around. But
yeah, I was going to say, because they're depending on, obviously, your elevation and things like that would depend on the results of that. You would have to have a controlled experiment or a control on that to be able to get accurate results. But I understand the idea. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you would see you should at least be able to see the commonality if there is one, you know, like with the chemicals, if there was one. Because
I understand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here, they're probably spraying. I mean, it's probably a uniform, like, recipe or whatever. If this is really what they're doing, right, it would have to be some kind of uniform recipe. It wouldn't make sense for them to spray a certain chemical in one part and a certain chemical in another part, would it? Or like, I mean, a certain set of chemicals, unless they're also trying to mix them together at some point in the app. Hell if I know what they're doing, Fletch.
Hey, well, I've noticed when what I believe to be chemtrails are doing their little pattern at the same time, because I live in the middle of John Wayne Airport, Long Beach Airport, LAX, right? So there's a lot of traffic in the sky, but at the same time, you'll see what I think is chemtrails. You'll see regular planes leaving contrails, and they go away real quickly.
Yeah.
Wait, so you broke up in the middle of that, but what I think I heard you say was you've seen planes that you know are chemtrails that
I think are chemtrails, and then at the same time you'll see planes that are leaving contrails and they're disappearing, while the other planes, their trails are staying for hours.
Okay, so your point there is you don't know what they are.
My point is that it's pretty obvious that they're chemtrails. Or what the chemtrails are, I don't know. The official view is it's to save us from global warming.
And that right there is the issue that I have. Because you say, I know that they're chemtrails, but I don't know what they are.
No, I don't.
And
those two
statements don't belong together. Well, I don't know what it is, but I know it's this.
Well, when you see one plane leaving trails that disappear right away, and then you see another plane where their trails stay for hours, it kind of points to those are the chemtrails.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I understand what you're saying.
That's fine.
And the reason why I say that is because the logic behind it doesn't mix. Not with me anyway.
Okay.
But I was gonna say something else and I just lost it. I lose more damn brain cells that way.
I mean,
what was I gonna say?
The UN admits they're doing it, but you're saying, nah, I couldn't be. So
no, that's not what I said. I just told him, and I was like, I'm assuming that's correct. What I am saying is they're not. It doesn't sound like they're trying to hide it.
Well, they were for a while, and then they finally came out with it.
And so what would be the
people have been talking about people have been talking about this since the late 90s.
Well, hey Fletch, is that picture of you, like, are you military?
I was, yes. I just recently got out. Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, first off, man, hey, thanks for serving, dude. Like, even though I don't agree with a lot of what you guys are told to do,
I don't either. That's why I got out.
I appreciate the fact that you at least did it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Again, I agree with you. I don't agree with a lot of what we were asked to do either, especially with the job that I was doing, and that's one of the few reasons why I got out of it.
That's good to hear. You know, it's nice to hear what good people that when they saw what was really happening, they were like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out.
So, I mean, there are details about that I'm not allowed, I can't talk about, but
that's no problem, dude. That's your prerogative. It was just I noticed your picture and I saw that you're military, so that's why when you said what you did about as far as what you know about contrails and stuff, right? Is because
because some of that for the job I had to do for when I was in Korea. I had to actually look into how engines work and things like that. That's where that picture is me in Korea.
Dude, that's nuts. Because I was actually, the reason why I was asking you about the military is I was going to ask you, do you know what time they started using weather manipulation?
Weather manipulation? No.
Yeah, what time they like admitted, like what time they actually started admitting that they were using weather modification and manipulation.
Okay, who said this, and what was the reason why they're doing it?
It was, believe it or not, it was the Korean War. Or the Korean conflict, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you know what, Fletch, that's a topic for another time because I actually got to get going in a minute.
Okay.
It was called Operation Popeye.
Really? That was the name of the operation?
Oh no, that's Vietnam.
That was Vietnam?
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't sound like South Korea, but I was gonna take your word for it until I looked into it. But
well, Fletch, I'm one of the kind of people that when someone tells me stuff like that, like GM will know this, like when someone tells me that, I'll pull it up on my screen like as they're telling me, dude. Like I like to when someone tells me something, I like to check it out because most of the time in my life, when somebody would tell me something and then I would go look into it later on, I would find out it was bullshit, you know? Like, so I got tired of that. And then I started meeting people that when they did tell me something and I looked into it, things at least matched up, you know? But that's getting skewed now. That's getting muddied as well. So I don't take anyone's word, and 95% of the time I'll pull it up, you know, whether I do it live with it screen sharing or whether I'm doing it on my other screen behind the scenes, you know,
right.
Just because I want to know. Like right now, GM, thanks for even though you got the name wrong, you gave me an idea of doing a search for the name of the operation of the Korean they were.
I'm looking for it. I can't find it, but you can find that Operation Popeye. It was in '67.
Yeah, that was in Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
cloud,
you know
cloud
what?
seeding.
I might have been mistaken. It might have been Vietnam when they started it then. I knew it was one of the Asian wars, dude.
Yeah.
Like
okay, because I know that weather manipulation or weather modification and that stuff happens. I know that what's the name of what's the phrase? Cloud seeding happens. And there are different reasons why, both bad and good. But
yeah, dude, we were actually we were using it as a weapon against Vietnam
until 1977. They signed the Geneva something. That's what it says.
The Geneva Convention you're talking about?
Yeah, in '77. Before that, there's a page on Wikipedia talking about weather warfare. So yeah. So officially from 67 to 77, they were doing this.
Okay.
So like, the whole reason why I was bringing that up though, Fletch, is I'm just saying it's not that far-fetched, you know?
Okay. So you're saying because of that, you know, the contrails and everything, the chemtrails and everything are possible. Okay. I mean, I can see where you would come up with that. Okay.
Yeah, dude, that's where we're coming from with that is like, wow, you know, I mean, like they were doing this back then, like that was crazy to find out. Like, and then seeing some of the weather around us now, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard on the news them say, this seems completely unnatural. Like, it's like, well, I wonder why, you know, like.
I just question things. I'm skeptical. I don't really know shit, you know, when it comes down to it.
I've always been the person that questioned everything. When I was told to do something, I would always ask, like, who said? Like, when my grandpa, even when I was like 19, 20 years old, and my grandpa found out that I was only getting like 5 hours of sleep a night, he's like, you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep, right? And I looked at him, I was like, who said? Was there like some council somewhere one day, like a long, long time ago, that said that this is what needs to happen? Like, who says, like, it's like, who
Yeah, you just question stuff,
like, so Fletch, I've had a problem for a while now with a few things, as far as like with the idea of like gravity, right? Like, I understand and I grasp what's being said about it, but now I've started thinking about it, and I've come to the conclusion that there's no way you can even figure out the variables for that equation, dude.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if there was a rock in front of you, right?
Okay.
Let's say it was a good little distance away from you, right? Would you be able to look at that visually and be able to like tell me what the mass of that rock is by being able to do your any calculation you want from where you are?
Me personally, from a distance with no
not you personally. I mean, like even if you don't know how to do the math, and you had a team of people standing around you, dude. Okay. And you had access to like any of their gadgets or tools, right? From where you're standing, from, let's say, about 150 feet away, okay? 200 feet away, all right? To be able to figure out the mass of it and the exact distance of it.
If they know which rock they're looking at, yes, they can.
Well, okay, that's because you got something to compare it to, but you don't know the mass of that rock because what if I was playing a trick on you and I hollowed out that rock, right? And I set it back down.
Then yes, we would still be able to tell. Yes.
Like, you'd be able to tell the mass of it.
Using sonar, yes. Sonar and infrared. We can do that. We can absolutely do that with very high accuracy.
You can tell me what that rock is made of.
Yes, we could tell you what it's made of based on the patterns coming back, the vibration patterns coming back. I can tell you the volume of it. We can tell you how far it is away. That's how sonar works. I know because I've used it personally.
How far does sonar go?
Depends on the device you're using. It depends on the medium. Can go pretty far. The exact specifications I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, if you could do that, can you pass it along? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then with sonar, how exactly does the signal leave your instrument? Like, is it like chaotic and everywhere, or is it like, I mean, because you know what I'm saying, right? Like, there's things that give like a like just like a full signal out, and it just spreads out like a wave, and it's like level with it, like. And then there's
so you understand what sonar is, right?
Not exactly, dude.
Okay. So basically, so sonar is based on sound waves. It's actually, the word sonar is actually an acronym. It actually stands for sound navigation ranging. So they use sound waves to to go out, and it's in an actual wave. It's in basically what you would call, I guess, a cone. And depending on what you're looking at, based on the vibrations that come back to you, you can tell what's there. You can tell how far away it is, things like that. You can use it for many reasons, for like acoustic locations. Um, you can use It uses infrasonic and ultrasonic systems, things like that. But yes, you can definitely it'll go a long way. Again, depending on what you're looking for, depending on the medium you're using it.
I looked it up and it said the maximum distance would be around 30 miles.
I would have to look at that source, because my experience, we can go
I'll drop it in the
further
back
than 30
chat.
miles.
330 miles? Did you say 330 miles?
Me? No, again, I don't know the exact number, and I don't want to guess. But from my experience, I'm pretty sure it's longer than 30 miles. But I have to look up his source.
Now, do you use sonar above the water?
Above water? It's possible. But it can be used. Sonar can be used above water. It can be used in, terra firma. It can be used in many different ways. So yes, it is possible to use it above water, depending on what you're trying to do.
I found another source that said 300 miles. And it's better than that first source I saw. This is Scientific America.
Right. I'm not near a computer, and my phone I'm using right now is crap. So, yeah, like I said, it's significantly farther. Again, the next time I come on, and I'll definitely will try to come on the panel again. I'll have that information for you. I just don't have it off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot, man. You gave me something to check out with sonar. Nobody has brought up sonar before, but I don't think anybody's even mentioned them using sonar to tell about these objects in the sky.
Objects in the sky, that would be different calculations.
Isn't it spectroscopy?
Spectroscopy,
yeah, spectroscopy, yeah.
Which you can't do spectroscopy with starlight, dude. Like,
we can do parallax measurements.
But that doesn't tell you the mass of something.
The mass is, well, it'll tell you, it could give you an idea how far away it is. What the mass of something is, there's a few different ways, and again, I don't have them all off the top of my head. I'll have that information for you when I come back. But we can know the mass of something far away.
Okay, I would, yeah, please, because I've been talking to a lot of people about this, and they've given very insufficient answers on it.
Okay, yeah. My girlfriend right now is looking at me like I have 50 heads, so I gotta go.
Yeah, no worries, dude. Get the heck out of here, man. Thanks a lot for stopping by. It was a pleasure meeting you.
All right, fellas, I appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, bro. Peace out.
All right.
I was looking that up right now, and I don't know. This is Quora. They answer questions, random people.
Yeah.
And this one guy said the mass of the moon was calculated using the radius and gravitational field strength of the moon itself. So, yeah, a bunch of assumptions, basically.
Okay, so you use the gravitational pull, which you need to know the mass to be able to calculate the gravitational pull to figure out the mass of the moon.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's assumptions.
Backwards ass doublespeak.
It says once the radius of the moon was calculated using observations, and the gravity accurately determines when probes and astronauts finally went to the moon.
Wow. All right. Well, I gotta go downstairs again because I couldn't do it anymore, dude. I had to come up here because I just needed to.
Don't you got to go to work, man?
Well, I'm going later on. I'm going later on. Like,
okay.
Like tonight. You know, it's Cinco de Mayo, right? Like, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down to San Diego, and there's gonna be a shit ton of people.
Where are you going? Ocean Beach or?
Around like Carlsbad.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Like there's a ton of places. Like it's like it gets really busy down there. And it's down next to the border. And there'll be a bunch of people that'll start drinking in America. And then by the end of the night, think it's a great idea to go down to Mexico and really have an authentic fucking Cinco de Mayo experience and like blow their asshole out with some Mexican tacos.
Yeah.
And that's like a 30-mile ride from like Carlsbad or whatever, right? Like 40 miles or whatever.
I don't know. Probably what, 45 minutes to an hour, maybe, or
Yeah,
less.
dude, it's like 40, 45 miles or something like that. Maybe 30 miles or so. Like it's not bad. So I mean, on trips like that, dude, like that's straight up like $45 in like an hour, you know? Like that's not bad.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, I do Uber Eats, but I'm getting a new car soon and I want to do passengers, you know. I just have a truck right now. Because my car got totaled.
Ah, that blows.
But I'm getting paid.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, when you get paid on that, that'll be awesome for you to be able to do that.
Yeah, it seems like regular Uber makes way more money than Uber Eats. I average like 15 to 17 an hour.
Well, dude, it depends on what's going on, dude, you know? Like it sucks. Like I found my best times to drive are seriously at like 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, dude. Like right before traffic starts getting really heavy.
Yeah.
And then I usually like get off the road, have breakfast somewhere, you know, like chill out for like an hour and a half. And then wait for traffic to die down till about 9:30, 10 o'clock when there's like no traffic at all. And then I go home wherever I'm at. I mean, it depends on where I'm at, dude. I swear, every time I hit up Anaheim, right?
Yeah.
Within half an hour to an hour and a half, okay, I will be on my way to fucking LA, man. Like like starting to drive there, you like get sucked to LA. It blows, man.
Yeah, the same shit happens with Uber Eats. Like, because I try to Disneyland, they got shit going on till 3, 4 in the morning. But then when you get pulled out of the area, then you're in the hills. It just sucks.
Yeah, you see, you're in a great place to do Uber Eats. Uber Eats around my house sucks.
Yeah. Long Beach is good. Disneyland area is good. Newport is good. But then when you get stuck in some nowhere place, then you're just getting McDonald's deliveries. They never pay. Oh shit, dude. I guess I'll go because there's no one here. If you're gonna bail.
Yeah, there's 23 people watching, so I know that there's somebody in the chat that would hop on the panel. Dude, Dave, you're already in the call, just to let you know. Explore Your Worlds in the chat, but he's never hopped on the panel. Flat Earth Paradise never hopped on the panel. Dude, I have no idea who the hell is watching this right now. I never know. But there's usually like 25 to 30 people in here, you know? Or like, no, I would say like anywhere between like 15 to like 30 people. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird, huh? Who's really watching you?
Well, because there's always like the same like 5 to like 10 people talking.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jibby's in there. He just listens. Like I booted Sean. Hey Sean, if you're listening and you want to hop back on, dude, just use the link and come back in with your Sean Grantham account, dude. There's no Glow people on the panel right now, and so no one here is worried about you being an asshole. So go ahead.
It's like I see why people get triggered, man, but we shouldn't call people assholes or dicks, even if they call us that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, like he straight up was like, are you fucking like, like straight up like, how fucking stupid are you? You know, like,
yeah, it's not good. But I do it too, man. I try not to.
But you know what? It was like right after I told him to chill. You know, like. It was like a couple minutes later, he was like, "Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And a couple minutes later, like, "Are you fucking retarded?" Like, bye, Sean. Like, I mean, like, okay. When I do start to get a little bit triggered, it's because the other person is actually really starting to get like kind of nasty, you know,
or condescending.
Yeah, or real condescending, like I'm a fucking complete moron, like.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, you know, like, and that's what'll trigger me, or being called a liar.
Yeah.
For like no reason. That's ridiculous. Done with that. But yeah, dude, you know what? I might as well just stop this right now. It's been running for over 2 hours right now, and I had a show on earlier, which and it already ran out. So that's not too bad. I might throw another one on when I get back, depending on what time I get back.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
Peace out, man. All right, and everybody in the chat, have yourself a good day or a good night or a good morning, whichever it is, because there's people everywhere. Love you all. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed watching.